It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial member SIPC. Vicki,
Hey, George.
how you doing?
Doing wonderful, George. You know what I'm thinking about this week?
What you thinking about?
I said to everyone last week, tick, 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 tick.
Tick,
Remember?
tick, tick, tick. I remember that.
Don't wait. Don't wait as far as reaching out to your loan servicer.
Yes.
As far as the things that are going on now with the SAVE program and the
Yes.
Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program.
That's right.
I said tick, 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 tick. Don't wait about your tickets.
Right.
Because the tickets go on sale, or actually went on sale. I've already gotten calls about the momentum that's building there at Central New York Jazz Foundation as far as ticket sales. Well, here's my tick, 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 tick for this week, George.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Here's what I want you to think about. I was stopped by someone a couple of days ago who asked me a question that threw me off for a minute, and then I really started to think about it. And I said, you know what? Sometimes you do good and bad occurs, or sometimes we do things and we get good results and we forget all the things that we learned in the process. Here's what I mean. Give you a little backstory on what they said. So,
Right.
Vicki, we talked about several months ago on how to improve your credit report. And you gave us some very good instructions on some things to do. Of course, things like paying your bills on time, things about as far as the amount of credit that you're getting. But the one thing you mentioned was the debt servicing ratio. And I explained to everyone that you needed to keep your debt servicing, your debt ratio below 30%. So they worked very, very hard, did that, and it worked. Credit score went up. Offers came in from credit card companies,
Yeah.
and their limits were raised. It's kind of like, you know, the time period when you go, I was listening to you and JT last week. And by the way, JT's, that interview was something else. Okay. I want to say that on air. But one of the things you were talking about is the days when you were exercising a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And you came back all buff and looking cool. I mean,
yes. Yes.
sharp. Okay. Well, it's like a diet, the same thing as far as your credit is concerned, and your servicing ratio and how much debt you accumulate. So what happened with this individual is that once the credit limits were raised and the credit score got better and more offers came in, they started to cheat a little bit.
Yeah.
Like cheating on that diet. We had a budget. They had a budget. They knew exactly what they were supposed to spend. But then they said, you know, this one time it won't really matter. And so I'm going to put that credit card down and do a little extra just to reward myself. And that one time turned into a couple of times. It turned into a habit.
So wait a minute. It's like you on a diet, you go into the bakery and you get a little slice of cheesecake.
Right.
And then you go back to you get another little slice of cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Okay.
They say,
hey. Then, you know, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the line, that 20 pounds that you lost and all that muscle tone that you had has disappeared. Well, that's what happened to them as far as their credit limits and the amount of debt that they are in, because they kept saying, next time. This time won't hurt. I'll do it this time. Right. And I'll go ahead and take I'll spend a little bit more because I want to reward myself and take a little trip here. Right. Go for a visit there. Next thing they knew, they had actually blown up to the top of their credit limit.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So now their ratio has forced their credit number to go down again. And worse than that, they have no room for emergencies.
No room at the end, huh?
Purchase. No room. No room at all in the credit structure. So that what can they do is the question.
Yeah. What do you do in that situation when there's no, what do you say? There's no room at the end.
There's no room at the end, really at the end. There's no room at the end at this point. So what we did is we sat down and did a couple of things. First of all, admitted to what happened. That's important. Right. Nobody caused it to happen other than themselves.
Right.
Admit what happened. Second thing, examine all of the credit cards that they had. Look at the prevailing interest rates. Find, if possible, one that they could immediately pay off with cash that they had sitting in the bank. or would be getting very, very soon.
Right.
But by releasing at least that one and driving that down to zero because they paid it off, that would help with the overall credit ratio for the entire gamut of everything that they had.
Mm.
And then take the coming forward, start to examine and look at each one of those credit cards and find the next one that we can get down to zero as quickly as we possibly can by utilizing a waterfall, or some people call an avalanche approach, to pay off those credit cards.
All right. So what does that mean, the avalanche approach?
Avalanche approach means like we start with the most obvious one first and give us the biggest bang in the buck, which was that I think it was about $1,000, pay that off to zero. That one had a normal amount of spend on it every month. So add that to whatever the minimum or payment structure has to be. So you're doubling up on the next one. Obviously, you have to keep everything else current. So it's like walking down or rolling down a hill. So you're picking up momentum and speed on how you're paying off your credit cards throughout.
So you're saying once that payment is made, that and then what you told them to do is take then the minimum that they would have paid on that if it was still being serviced,
exactly,
and add that plus whatever it is they're doing on the other. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. So you're picking up speed all the way, okay, as far as paying it off. And realize there's one very important process here that you have to make sure you do. Don't add more debt.
Mm.
Don't add more debt, which means you need to go into cash as far as your payments during this time period until we get things back into the ratio limits that we really know are appropriate for the credit limits that you have, and also for the budget all overall. Okay. Oh, and they asked me this question. So should I cancel the card? No. You don't want to cancel the card. You want to stop using the card. You don't want to cancel it, because when you cancel it, you remove that available credit from the formula, which means that the credit ratio goes back up as far as
because now that credit is not available and it's not in the mix. I got you. Okay.
Okay, so don't cancel. Put it away. Don't use, but do not cancel. George. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people use their credit cards for points and rewards. How do you suggest that people who do that because they want to get points for the airline miles or the goodies that come?
Sure.
You know what I mean? For hotels.
That's a very valid structure. But what I suggest is this. Depending on how disciplined you are, and you know who you are, not who you say you are, but you know who you really are.
Now who you say you are, who you are.
Who you are. Okay. Write a check the minute you do that to the credit card company. So I got a $200 plane ticket. Write a check to Visa for $200.
Okay.
Sit it right there on your desk. Okay?
So you use the reward, but you know you got the backup.
You got to pay it right now. You pay it. Okay, pull it out. Okay. Now some people are laughing. Ms. Brackens, checks? Yes, I do. Okay. And I use checks. Okay, for a reason. Because that I've said this before years and years. Writing that check has a different impact than pulling a debit. But if necessary, if you don't have checks, you can go in and immediately, you don't have to wait for the bill to come. You can go in electronically and pay the bill right then and there. Mm-hmm. Send the debit, go into your banking as far as your payment structure there online with your credit card company. You charge $200 for that plane ticket. Go in, pay $200 on the bill. Get it off the bill immediately. Save the interest payment and save the temptation of, I got to go on the trip and I need some shoes and I need an outfit and some other things to go with it. And if you do that, pay that off immediately also. Pay off at least all of the new charges that month, plus what your regular bill would be.
That's like American Express, right? The regular card.
That's the old American Express process. You're right.
Right.
Okay. It was a
charge card.
It wasn't credit. It was a cash advance.
It was a charge card, and you paid it at the end of the 30 days.
That's correct. But I'm telling you, don't even wait for 30 days. As soon as you go online and do whatever it is that you did, as far as the purchases to get the points, pay it off right at that point in time.
Good point. Good idea too. Right,
especially
so
if
you
you're
get both. It's like you can have your cake and you can eat it too.
Don't say that, George, because we're talking about diets.
What's our diet? Now here we go. Right.
We don't want the
I couldn't help that
eating.
example though.
Okay. All right. So again, as a reminder, please share and subscribe. Share and subscribe to this video and to everything that we do on this channel as far as America's Money Maven. If you have questions, feel free to give me a call at area code 315-930-4499 or reach us at info@Brackens, BRACKENS, FSN.com. And at this point in time, George, I will say our plate is full.
Tick, tick, tock. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's Money Maven.